Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to share this out. Let me know what you have going on today. I'm going to kick this on the FM. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA 99.5 FM. Right now it's 8:56 on a beautiful Friday here in Marque, Texas. I have a guest in studio. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then she's going to share the organization that she's with here today.
My name is Danielle Lance, and I'm with Gulf Coast Epilepsy Alliance. We're a nonprofit that provides services to individuals with seizure disorders and those touched by epilepsy in the Gulf Coast areas of Texas.
All right, so thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Did you find the studio and everything all right?
Yes, I did. It was great.
Sometimes, so Sheena was supposed to, come in, and we had her and Tristan and Mr. Mike Dudas in studio a long time ago, but she didn't want to be on air. Sheena just like, you know what? The mics look full, everything else right now. But she sent you here today, but she couldn't make it. I wanted to say hi.
She did. Yes, she did send me in her place. I'm excited to be here and ready to,
We're going to have some fun.
Yes.
Have some fun this
morning. Ready to have some fun.
Okay, so this month, it's an awareness month. I think it's Sudep Awareness Month. Can you tell me what is Sudep and why is this important to spread the awareness?
Yes, Sudep is sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. It is where people with epilepsy, lose their lives suddenly and unexpectedly after having a seizure. It's, very, very traumatic thing for families who do lose someone suddenly and unexpectedly. And so October is Sudep Awareness Month, and at KHEA, we are going to be hosting an event at Carbide Park here in Marque on Sunday, October the 24th at 2 p.m. in honor of Sudep Awareness.
And this event, it's free to attend. I know Mayor Keith Bell with the city of Marque, he's going to be out there. I think there's going to be some other speakers. A UTMB representative is going to be out there. And they're going to be spreading, information for and I know I talked to Sheena, and she was even telling me some statistics on some different things as well. Is that any information that you have?
Yes. So 1 in 26 people will develop epilepsy in their lifetime. And 1 in 3.4 million people are currently living in the United States with active epilepsy.
So, it's important because somebody that we know or may be related to is going to potentially be touched by this, by having seizures, right?
Yes.
So what kind of things are important? What kind of information should we have, how to handle these situations?
So I think the first thing is to just talk about it. Be very open. I have epilepsy. You want to make sure the people around you know what to do if you were to have a seizure. And we're going to talk a lot at our butterfly release about seizure safety and Sudep safety, into potentially, how to help somebody who is having a seizure.
Okay. Why is this so important to you? Why get involved?
So I have epilepsy. I was diagnosed with epilepsy over 20 years ago, and it's something I've grown up with. And 20 years ago, there wasn't as much talk about it. There wasn't as much awareness. And so I feel, if I can just help bring awareness and make one person feel like I'm not alone, then I'm all for, doing that.
So why do you think there wasn't that much awareness about it, some 20 years ago or so?
Medicine's come a long way in 20 years, but I think it's always evolving, and there's always new things to learn. It was talked about, but there weren't support groups. It was hard to find other people like you that had it. It was hard for my parents to find people to confide in that understood by having another child, who had epilepsy. What
was it like growing up with that?
I lived a seemingly normal and great childhood. I would miss school periodically when I would have a seizure. But otherwise, my seizures were pretty well controlled. Mine are nocturnal, so they happen while I'm sleeping. And, I would just stay home and take it easy that day.
Yeah. And do they know, like, for you, or why do seizures happen?
There's many different reasons. You could have concussion. You can be born with it. It could be genetics. For me, they haven't determined the main cause for what causes my seizures. But for lots of different people, there's different reasons.
Okay. So if you're just joining us, this is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. I'm talking to Danielle, and we are talking and learning about the Gulf Coast Epilepsy Alliance, which is a local nonprofit. And can you tell me, I guess, when did this organization start and who started it?
So it was founded by Tristan Pearson, a local to the Galveston County area. He is a young man now who has epilepsy, and him and his mother started. There wasn't really much going on in the Gulf Coast areas, and they started this 501c3 nonprofit to service those in this area with epilepsy.
How did you get hooked up with Sheena and Tristan and the Alliance? How'd you learn and meet them?
So I met Sheena and Tristan 5 or 6 years ago through another organization relating to epilepsy, and Sheena and I hit it off, and Tristan and I hit it off, and Tristan's like the little brother, and I was totally in love with their message and their mission to help achieve a life and a society where no one is limited by epilepsy.
Okay, so that's awesome. Tristan, I haven't seen him, and last time I saw him, I think he was in studio here. How's he doing?
He's doing well. He's living his best life, and has a good time. He will be at our butterfly event. He's got the very special job of releasing the butterflies at the end of the event. So I know he's looking forward to doing that.
Why butterflies?
Butterflies are just, a representation of life, and, their life starting from a caterpillar, morphing into this beautiful creature. It's just something that's really amazing. And so we're sending our butterflies to those that we've lost from our alliance, and those we've lost, in general, who aren't members of ours that have lost their lives to Sudep.
It's just it's a good, I guess, representation. A good. I'm trying to think of the right word, but it slips my mind.
Yeah,
a
good representation of life.
Yeah. That's awesome. Have you been to Carbide Park before in Lamarque?
I went a couple weeks ago with Sheena to just kind of
scope it out,
lay it all out.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a really nice park.
Yeah, so we've have the pavilion, and we'll be under the pavilion, and we've got food trucks coming out, and we'll have some music, and it's free to the public. All you have to do is go to our website and register, so we know you're coming.
What is the website?
It is www.gceatx.org.
Is there any other helpful information on there as well if someone's looking to learn more about how they can get involved or learn how they can help?
Yes, so we have a resources tab on our website. It's got all different kinds of resources. There's different information about seizures, people you can reach out to, and we also have a store if you want to go online and buy some epilepsy merch or some GCEA merch. It's also on our website.
You being on the board of this organization, do you feel like that's your goal to help the young kids or help people who are younger, maybe even older than you, but just help them, if they're going through the same thing that you have been through and, going through?
Yes. So I'm very open about my journey, and I find that it's my calling to talk about it, bring awareness, and help anyone, else who has this feel like they're not alone, they're not by themselves, and that they can overcome this, this battle.
What has your journey been like? How old were you, and, how did you get here? What's it been like?
So I was 9 years old when I was officially diagnosed. I was in the 3rd grade, and my seizures, as I mentioned, were happening at night while I'm sleeping, and I would have, 4 to 5 seizures a year, and as I've gotten older, my seizures were still happening, 4 to 5 times a year. And just recently, for the first time, I was able to celebrate 16 months seizure-free. and then did have a breakthrough seizure back in August.
Do you know how? You know how and why it was 16 months?
So I changed my diet. A lot of there's a lot of research in talking about keto and modified Atkins diet potentially helping those with epilepsy. And so changing my diet, working out, trying to minimize stress and help manage my stress levels has definitely helped that.
How common is that to have, if someone has seizures, for them to be at night specifically?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, there's so many different types of seizures that, some people have them at night, some have them during the day, some have them both. It's just hard to really know.
Yeah. And yours were specifically?
Yes.
At night when you were sleeping?
Yes. So mine happened between like 5 and 7 in the morning as I was coming out of sleep into the waking up stage.
To me, just hearing about it, and I don't know that too much about it, but it seems like that would be dangerous because you're going to be by yourself. No one's there. People may not be awake yet.
Yes, so it is dangerous, and that's where Sudep comes into play. And a lot of the people who pass from Sudep are those that have seizures, in their sleep when they're coming out because they are alone. Growing up, my parents had different devices in the room so they could hear if I was having a seizure. There are different devices on the market, today that you can use to alert parents or, emergency contacts that this person is having a seizure.
Yeah, my kids are, and we just watched it the other day, but the Descendants movies, and one of the actors right before Descendants, are you familiar with the Descendants?
I'm not.
You're not?
No.
It's the Disney villains.
I know. I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
I recommend you watch it. I promise.
Okay.
And I don't think it's just because I have kids, and I've probably seen them. There's three of them, but one of the actors, one of the main characters in there
was Cameron Boyce.
Yeah, and
yes.
he was, on the Disney Channel. I don't know much about his personal life other than he lived with seizures, and then that Sudep that happened to him.
Yes. So he had, I think, in his entire, life, only a handful of seizures. They were pretty well under control for him, and he did, pass from Sudep, and it was very sad, and it shook the epilepsy community for sure.
Yes. So, I mean, are there people out there who, I guess there's people in our lives that we don't realize may suffer with seizures, or is there a way that somebody may not even realize that they suffer with seizures, and it's just like if they're sleeping or, I don't know, just weird things like that?
Yeah, so unless somebody witnesses you having a seizure, you may not know that you've had a seizure. After my seizures, I usually have a really bad headache, and I'm really tired. But if I didn't know that it was a seizure, I would just think I have a bad headache and I'm really tired. So it's hard to really, for people who have seizures, unless they know they have them, to say, oh, that could be a seizure. But yeah, it's also hard for the people who do have seizures and aren't comfortable talking about it. And, they live in this, like, oh my gosh, I'm alone. I can't talk about it. Maybe people won't accept me because of it. And, it's more common than you think. So just talk about it, because I'm sure you'll meet someone who knows someone who has seizures.
And that's, I guess, part of the importance of the awareness, just being open and able to talk about it, because if someone has that and they almost like ashamed or something, just like, I don't want to, how are you going to be like, hey, by the way, it's not something exciting to talk about, but it is important.
It is very important. And it's, more times than not, the person you're talking to will either have it themselves or know someone who has it. And then you can instantly connect and build this relationship because, they understand it as well.
Can you remind everybody one more time, the website, how they can attend that event, who is it for, and what's going to be going on there that day?
Yes, so our website is www.gcetx.org, and we are, honoring Sudep Awareness Month, which is sudden unexpected death in epilepsy. We're hosting a butterfly release at Carbide Park at 2 p.m. on Sunday, October the 24th. It's free to the public. We just ask that you go onto our website and register. We're going to have food trucks. We've got butterflies coming to be released. We're going to have music. We have several doctors coming out to speak about Sudep safety, seizure safety, and it's going to be a great time.
Thank you for joining today. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you would like to share?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all.
We did, didn't we?
Yes.
It was a good time, wasn't it?
It was great. Thank y'all for having me.
Of course. Okay, so this is KHEA. You can feel free to share this out if you're watching on social media, or you can go back and listen anywhere on YouTube or any other places as well. So thank you so much, Danielle, for hanging out today.
Thank you.
It's KHEA.